Um, I don't know if most people know, I started as a winger.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I started as a winger, right winger, left winger, and it's when I signed for Fenerbahce, they wanted me to play right back, and at first I did not enjoy it. But eventually I started to, play more in that position, learn more about the position. But then I had the opportunity to play for Nigeria. That's when I got called up. So
Yes.
I thought if this is my way into getting, I would happily take it, because I've always wanted to play for Nigeria. I've always said it from young. Nigeria is a country that my mum and dad are very proud of, that I'm proud of as well. And for me to get a call up was an honor. So when Ola was out, I thought this was more of an opportunity for me to play more games in the AFCON. And once the opportunity came, I had to take it. I think this AFCON was a way to show, that I can compete and I'm willing to fight for the nation. When I got the call that if I was interested to play as a right back, I was absolutely happy, and I think that's more of a reason why I took that position more seriously now because, it was an opportunity for me to play right back for my club and for my country. And yeah, like I said, I've never looked back.
All right, everyone. Welcome to the Inside the Game podcast with me, Omar Katuba. I've got a very special guest, uh, Nigerian international, plays in the Nationwide League for Birmingham City Football Club. Right back, very versatile, very, attack-minded right back for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. One of the best players at the African Nations Cup, Bright Osayi-Samuel. Great to have you join me, Bright
Thank you.
Osayi-Samuel.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's start with the AFCON. Just concluded tournament. Before the AFCON, not many people expected that you were going to start.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, for Providence sake, you had the opportunity to start, and I would say you had a revelatory performance at the tournament. What has that taught you about football and life in general?
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing for a long time, so I know, in football things can change very quickly. I always wanted to play when called upon. We have another great right back like Ola Aina, so he's someone that I've always looked up to, is a great player, but I always believed that if I had my opportunity, then I had to take it, and of course you don't want to wish bad injury on anyone, but when Ola was out, I thought this was more of an opportunity for me to play more games in the AFCON. And once the opportunity came, I had to take it. I couldn't look back. Just play my best and enjoy. And thank God. I personally believe that I played well and I enjoyed the whole tournament. So yeah, it was good.
Fantastic. I remember speaking with your dad in Portugal when Nigeria was preparing for the AFCON before this one. And your dad was quite emotional about how Nigeria, is yet to really understand the qualities that you have, how you should be given the chance to really earn the first 11 shirt. And you got it and you took it, you grab it with both hands, I beg your pardon, or both arms, whichever. What role did your dad play? Because I see he's very much involved in your career. What role did he play in all of this?
Yeah, he's been always there for me, an important figure for me. Always from when I started, he's always been there to support me. Constructive criticism, I would say. But yeah, he just always wanted me to keep playing. He always wanted me to play for Nigeria, which I managed to do. And every game, just to showcase my ability and show everyone that, I'm good enough to be here and compete and fight, So I think from the minute I got my debut for Nigeria against Portugal,
Yes.
I never looked back. I always thought that I wanted to play more and show my ability. I think, you know, Nigerians, you have to prove it first before anything, And I think this AFCON was a way to show, that I can compete and I'm willing to fight for the nation.
And you chose to represent Nigeria at international level. Can you talk us through that decision and what it means to you personally to wear the Super Eagles shirt?
Yeah, I mean it's a weird one because um, I don't know if most people know I started as a winger. Um,
Oh, yeah. Wow.
yeah, I started as a winger, right winger, left winger, and It's when I signed for Fenerbahce, they wanted me to play right back, and at first I did not enjoy it, But eventually I started to, play more in that position, learn more about the position. But then I had the opportunity to play for Nigeria. That's when I got called up. So
Yes.
I thought, if this is my way into getting, I would happily take it, because I've always wanted to play for Nigeria. I've always said it from young, Nigeria is a country that my mum and dad are very proud of, that I'm proud of as well. And for me to get a call up was an honor, So when I got the call that if I was interested to play as a right back, I was absolutely happy, and I think that's more of a reason why I took that position more seriously now, because, it was an opportunity for me to play right back for my club and for my country. And yeah, like I said, I've never looked back.
It's amazing how you've performed in that position. And one can tell the way you play that you were an attacker, because I see how you've got the ability to take on players. It's always almost difficult to stop you. Against Morocco, against Algeria, the way you took on our opponents, you actually pegged back the opponent's attackers and made life difficult for the defenders. That's the quality of an attacking footballer. I'll stay with national team football. A lot of players with dual nationality face important decisions about their international future. From your own experience, what factors mattered most to you when choosing to play for Nigeria?
I think it's just the fact that my mum and dad were so connected, so involved in getting me to learn the Nigerian culture, the food. And I
Mhm.
always had that from young, Like I said, when I was in Spain, it was the same thing. And yeah, coming to England, of course, you start to learn and play for an England team, and you start to get more involved around the England setup. But in my head, I always wanted to play for Nigeria. It was it's an opportunity for me to, there's so many people, so many family friends or family in Nigeria that I don't even know most of them. My mom and dad does, and every single time my mom and dad are always saying, you have a lot of family that are trying to support you back home.
Mhm.
And tournaments like the AFCON is just a way for me to to give something back to them, because even after this tournament, the amount of love and messages I've had from people back home, I've even started to meet people that I didn't meet before because of this tournament, and these are the things that I enjoy and love. And yeah, like I said, this is one of the reasons why I would always love to play for Nigeria.
Fantastic. Just still staying with that. Do you think that opportunities, timing, and feeling valued play a big role for players with dual nationality when deciding which country to represent?
Yeah, I think for most players, it depends. Everyone has different opinions and
Yes.
decisions, but I think, you know, for me personally, I've realized that me coming back home, the importance and love that you get from fans, from family back home, from teammates is it's just crazy. Like coming back to the AFCON, going back to my club. I've said to everyone that it wasn't just a tournament for me. It was like a holiday,
Yes.
meeting my friends, vibing with the teammates. You can see the passion, and yeah, like even the players in my team, they're asking me like what are the things you have to do before a game, because they don't see these type of things in Europe. The vibes and passion that we have together, and the togetherness. And just these little things may not mean something big, but they are. And I just love these type of things, having to pray before the game. I'm a religious person. I'm a Christian, and having to sing, and all these things are just things that I don't think you would see in teams in countries in Europe.
Not at all. Finally, on this one, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I guess this might be quite difficult. A lot of players or a lot of people believe that a lot of you born abroad choose Nigeria when the chance of playing for, let's say, England, Germany, Spain, France is no longer, feasible. Would you have played for England if you had the opportunity?
Um, to be fair, my friends have asked me the same question as well. But like I said to you, I think for me, because I was so heavily involved with my country in terms of my dad and mom pumping me with like the Nigerian culture, going to Nigerian weddings, the food and everything, coming to Europe. coming to so playing in England, you start to play with players that play for the country, and you start to see the value of playing for England. But I think in terms of that's hard to say. In terms of playing football, some people might say yes, playing for like England might be better. But I think you don't get the other side of it. Like I said to you before, in terms of the togetherness, the way everyone's together, the vibes. I don't think you would see that playing for England. And of course football comes first, but I think when you have a team that are just vibes, like look at Fulham now, the way Bass, Alex, and Samuel are jogging, that comes only because of vibes and how they're enjoying it. And I can tell that every single day they're just having fun, And I think when you come to the Nigerian setup, that's exactly how it is. Everyone's having fun, and you never see any negativity. Even the players that don't play, everyone's smiling. Everyone's just looking forward to the games, the training, and this is one of the reasons why I always choose Nigeria first.
Yes, I mean, it talks about, identity and, cultural connection with home. Playing for the Super Eagles builds and enhances this type of connection with the culture,
Of
with the
course,
people, with everything. And
yeah,
that makes you absolutely much more valued. And
yeah,
like you said, and like a lot of my friends have said to me, they will never love you more than the Phil Foden, the Cole Palmer of this world.
yeah.
And it's special to represent your roots. If you met Bukayo Saka tomorrow, would you have said to him, or would you say to him, if you have the opportunity in another world, perhaps you could have chosen Nigeria?
Absolutely. Like even Ebbs as one of my close friends that I've
Yes.
played with from young. We had a phone call actually, and he was asking me about the question he actually asked me was, how is the camp like. And you can the fact that he's asked me that out of anything just shows that they're interested to see, because you can see it all over social media of how the vibes and how everyone's just enjoying football. And yeah, if of course he's chose England now, but if it was another life, I would tell him again the same thing I told him now. Nigeria comes first.
I like that. I'm talking about Nigeria, social life, social media. I mean, I cover international football and I cover the Super Eagles. There's a huge contrast between the atmosphere in the Eagles camp and that of a European national team or a club. Was that a culture shock to you? For example, in Morocco, the Super Eagles hotel was like a marketplace. And as a footballer born and raised in Europe, was that kind of a culture shock to you? You know, was it difficult to adapt to that kind of a setting?
Yeah, I mean, at first you might raise eyebrows because these are things that you're not used to. But like you said, in the hotel that we were in, there was a lot of people there, but they were all showing love,
Yes,
and giving positive messages. And these are things I don't think you would see in Europe. But for me, I take it as love. They just want the best for you, and they want you to like just show your ability. And yeah, you might find it weird, but if you look deeper, you see that these are just people who are just trying to show you love, and that's how I see it.
absolutely. And that also speaks to the communal nature of Nigeria and Africa.
Yeah,
We are
yeah,
together. Even in
always.
England, the Nigerian
No,
community stays together. And
of
that
course,
same mentality and culture will take everywhere we go in the world.
for
Now,
sure.
staying in Morocco and the AFCON, let's look at the games now. Nigeria blew everyone out of the water until Morocco came into the picture. What exactly happened against Morocco? Because I didn't see the Super Eagles that I wanted to see.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a game of two good teams, two teams in form. And I don't think anyone just wanted to make mistakes. It was a very important game for both teams. Um, I think we didn't play as how we played the last games before. But
Yes.
I think Morocco also didn't play as good as they played as well. So it was a balanced game, I think. Of course, we lost on penalties. Penalties, it's 50-50, and it was unfortunate. But I think overall, it was a good tournament. I think even that game as well, we defended so well. Like Bassi was was a monster. I swear.
Absolutely.
And yeah, Shem as well. Like it was good. I think games like that was for me personally. I enjoyed because those are games where you
Yes.
wanna everyone's watching and you just want to show how good you can be. So yeah, it was unfortunate, but it was like I said, a great tournament.
Still staying on that game because from a tactical standpoint, the Nigerian defense had the ball the most of the time, and you
Yeah.
guys were the stars of the Nigerian team. Could that be a function of Morocco's tactical understanding of how Nigeria play and not allowing the Nigerian team from the middle and the attack to really make any difference, which meant that the guys at the back had a lot of the balls?
Yeah, I think with the formation we play and in the games we played before Morocco, you can see that with this diamond that we like to play in the middle,
Mhm.
Alex penetrates the passes into the attacking players who can go and do their magic. And I think Morocco obviously knew that and they wanted to stop that. So it was a tactical game. Because of that, the defenders had more of the ball. But I think also it sends a good message for us, that Morocco are thinking more about us than
Yes,
them,
yes.
because that game I think we had more possession than them. We kept the ball. Yes, we didn't create that many chances, but I think they were more worried than we were. And yeah, it was a positive. It was a positive game. I believe for us. It's just unfortunate that we couldn't create as many chances because I'll be honest that they did defend well and they were tactically correct. But it was a good game overall.
I like what you said because I was saying to someone that, to be very honest, Morocco showed so much respect to Nigeria compared to Senegal. Against Senegal, they were just all out.
Yeah,
Against Nigeria, they were more careful. They played against Nigeria like a, no disrespect, a QPR would play against a Manchester United, sitting back, watching carefully, and making all of the time, I mean, runs to make sure that the attack doesn't function. The midfield, especially Alex Iwobi, they were basically just all over our best players. Would you say that's a sign of respect from the Moroccan team for the Nigerian team?
yeah, of course. I think even fans, were surprised with how we played
Yes.
previously before the Morocco game. I think the formation that we had, we've obviously played before the AFCON, but I think this AFCON would really gel together and really understood what the manager wanted us to
Yes.
to do. And I think Morocco also saw that. I think the game against Algeria, we played magnificent and
Absolutely.
we really dictated play. Sorry, and I think Morocco didn't want that, of course. So yeah, it was like you said, it was Morocco showing respect, but they were tactically good, and they defended well because I think we only had one or two shots on target.
Yes. And I was
Yeah,
I
so
was stunned.
yeah, so I guess they were defending, but they defended very well. So I'll give it to them.
Looking at how Nigeria played at the AFCON, struggled in the World Cup qualifiers, came into the AFCON in chaos. I personally went to Morocco to just have fun. I didn't go to Morocco with any expectations of the Super Eagles, to be very honest. And I'm sure you guys were surprised yourselves to have played that well. And looking at how you played in Morocco, I'm sure you'll be biting your fingers for not qualifying for the World Cup and hoping that we could start all over again.
Yeah, I mean, you said surprised, but I don't think any of us were surprised. I think we always knew we had this in us. It was just, maybe confidence. But I don't know. I just think if you look, if like me being in the camp,
Yes.
the feeling I think it was that we all knew that we had this in us.
Mhm.
Look, if you look at the players that we have, um, the formation that the manager wants us to play in is it's a formation where we have to dictate play. And we have Vic, who's the best striker in the world,
Yes.
and not just for scoring goals, but it's pressing. And I think our pressing was really important for us to play how we want to play. And yeah, of course, I wish that we could have played like this previously in our qualifiers, but this
Mhm.
is football.
Yes.
I saw a tweet about the pitches. I've always
That
I
was,
was
that was going to be
it's an
my next
interesting one.
question, but go
It's an
ahead.
interesting one because, of course, I don't think the pitch is the reason why we didn't qualify. But I think the pitch plays a massive role in how you want to play, especially with how we want to play in this formation. Dictate play and pop teams, great chances. A better pitch would help us. It would definitely help us. And yeah, I think Morocco, the pitches that we played in was amazing. And we managed to play how we wanted to play. And yeah, that's all I can say about that, really.
Fantastic. Victor is a very pivotal player for the Super Eagles.
Yeah.
People believe that if he doesn't play, we can't win games. Does that reach you guys? Do you feel somewhat to prove a point if Victor is not playing to kill all of these narratives that without Victor there's no Super? Because I'm sure you hear it sometimes because you see what's going on online. Coincidentally when he doesn't play, sometimes we don't win, and then people say no Victor, no Super Eagles. How do you guys as players react to this?
For me personally, it doesn't really affect me. I think people need to understand that Vic is one of our star men in our
Yes.
team. So
Yes.
we would always want our star players to always be in the team. He's a
Like every
phenomenal player,
team in the world.
of course. And you know, people always have their narratives and opinions when players are playing or not playing. But for us as professionals, we just focus on the job. If he plays or if he doesn't play, we're out there to win and put 100%.
Fantastic. Let's go to club football. I mean, you've also had a bit of struggle at Birmingham. Haven't joined on a free transfer. Things really haven't taken shape as you would have wanted, right?
Yeah.
Same thing was happening with the Eagles or at national team football, but that seems to have changed. I can say to you now that you've locked down the right back position. Whoever is coming back have to work extra hard to
Amen.
compete with
Amen.
the position. Do you think that would some way also trickle down to club football? Now that you're back from the AFCON, you've enjoyed the AFCON, you've played absolutely fantastic football. I'm sure people at Birmingham, the fans, the management, and the club will expect to see a new leaf, a new Bright Osayi-Samuel.
Yeah, I think what a lot of people don't know is I was injured two, three times at Birmingham just before AFCON, and I'm not a player that really gets injured, so it was really difficult and annoying, to have two injuries. But now I'm perfectly fine. I think the form and the way I played in AFCON, has given me confidence now to just go back to my club football and just focus. Our aim is to obviously go to get to the playoffs and get promoted to the Premier League. I believe we can still do that with the players that we have and coach that we have. But yeah, like you said, the confidence now that I've had a great AFCON. Um, Something that I want to put into my club football. The fans especially are expecting me now because they want to see the real me, and
Yeah,
I think they were kind of confused in seeing how I played in AFCON, and they haven't really seen that. But that's football.
the Nigerian vibe. So
Yeah,
has been the difference.
yeah,
they,
that's
they need
football.
to start. They need to start singing like the people in Birmingham.
Yeah, but yeah, that's football. I believe once I get my opportunity back, I will showcase my ability. I'm a confident player. I just want to keep playing, and yeah, when the time comes, I just have to do my best again.
And I'm sure the dream for you will be to play in the Premier League.
Of course, of course. With Birmingham, that's the expectation.
Yes.
Simply to just go up. We have great owners who are expecting big things from us. We have a great coach, and we have great players also. But Championship is a very difficult league.
Absolutely.
I played there when I was 20, so I remember it's a difficult 46 games, a lot of games. So anything can happen. But I still believe that we have the squad to go up.
You played in Turkey. I'm sure that, I mean, represents the best moments of your club career, so to say.
Yeah.
How was life like in Turkey? Also working under Jose Mourinho, the special one.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. Wonderful 4.5 years.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah, 4.5 years. I had a few opportunities to go, but I just the way that the Fenerbahce treated me from when I signed to when I ended it was just amazing for me and my family. The love is still there even now, and it's strange because you only get that when you win the league, because winning the league is such an important thing for Fene, because they haven't won it for quite a while now. But the love that I get is imaginable, and yeah, like I said, I enjoyed the 4.5 years there.
And you won the league, right?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's the strange thing about it. I didn't, That's one thing I really wish I could have had before leaving to win the league. And it pains me even to this day that, I couldn't win, the league.
Do you think that there are similarities between the Turkish people and Nigerian people in terms of how they celebrate their stars?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's similar. It is similar. I think Nigerian fans and Turkish fans can be very critical
Yes.
when things don't go well, which is okay. But when things do go well, they do praise you and they do show you love. In Turkey, especially my time there, I don't know if you remember the incident that I
Oh,
had with Trabzon.
I was
Yes,
coming there.
yeah, of course that was not football related, but the love I had from there was just crazy, and it was not just in Turkey, it was anywhere I went, going back to London, came back to London, any Turkish person that knew me would come and show love, even my calf in where I live in Woolwich, where my mum and dad lives,
Oh,
they
wow.
don't pay for food, and that's just Turkish people for you, man. They show crazy love.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the future. What does the future hold for you? What are your dreams? You're 27, right?
28 now.
28. And
Yeah.
that's on the high side for a footballer in these days.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, at this age, most players now think of a final paycheck, maybe Saudi Arabia. What are your thoughts?
Um, like I said, I'm at Birmingham now. My goal is to play in the Premier League with Birmingham, go up, win something with Nigeria.
Mhm.
I've came second and third now, so I think now the only one left is first, So yeah, I think those are my two goals right now. I take each day as it comes, each game as it comes, and my objectives right now is just to play now for Birmingham, go up, and for AFCON, the next AFCON, try to be in the squad. And if I get the opportunity to play as well as I did in this AFCON or even better, and win something.
All right, let's talk about Nigeria, your origin. You were born in Nigeria, but of course, you were raised abroad. How close
Yeah.
are you to the Nigerian culture?
Yeah, I mean, I moved to Spain, then I moved to London, but my mom and dad have always put the Nigerian culture into me. I've got Nigerian family, friends. Most of my friends are Nigerian. Always had to eat jollof rice when I was young, going to school, eating jollof rice for breakfast, lunch, dinner. It's yeah, they've schooled it, they've drilled it into my head. I think you know, as a footballer, you don't really have much time to
Yeah,
go back home because
yes.
of our schedule. But playing for the national team gives me, an opportunity to go back. And I think from when I've played for Nigeria, I've had the opportunity to come back more. And after the national duty, I've had 1 or 2 days to go and actually see my family. So this is a way for me to get closer to my family in Nigeria. And last summer, I was in my state
Okay.
in Benin.
Yes.
Yeah, I've created a tournament for the under 13s now. So this is the
Wow.
second. Yeah, this is the second edition. The second edition was last summer, and when I went there, it was just crazy. I met the prince, met the deputy governor, the commissioner. And these it's things like this is why I always want to get involved, want to help as much as I can, because in that tournament I could see the love and the joy and passion in the under 13s, or wanted to play as good as they can and get picked up, and yeah, these are the reasons why I, I love Nigeria and I want to go back and help as much as possible. And next summer, my plan is to make it bigger. try and get involved more. Maybe get out on the 14s, on the 15s, and I've actually made promises, so I can't even break the promises. I've promised to. I think I'll keep the promises to myself, but I've promised to do certain things for my state, and yeah, a lot of plans. A lot of
Amazing.
plans. Yeah, a lot of plans.
Amazing. Let's talk about music. How much of Nigerian music do you listen to? And who are your favorite Nigerian artists? Three.
Um, so I actually understand Edo.
Oh,
I understand.
wow.
Yeah, I understand Edo. I can't speak it, but I can understand everything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So,
So if I say Domo,
how are you, basically?
yeah.
Oh, good morning. Yeah, yeah. So I know the words, but it's a shame because that's literally the only language I can speak. Like understand. I
Yeah.
want to understand more Yoruba.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because
Yeah,
in London, there are so many Yoruba people.
yeah. I want to understand it because the music as well.
Yeah.
When I listen to music, I want to know what they're actually saying also, and sometimes I'm like having to check to see what they actually say. So yeah, in terms of to your question, Ashake, just his melody, the beats, it's someone that I listen to a lot. Odimodi Black, um, shows me so much love. It's crazy the amount of love he shows me,
He loves football so much. I said, I said,
yeah,
I said to him that he's supposed to be at the AFCON doing interviews. He knows a lot of.
yeah, for real, yeah. Yeah, I listen to him, Wizkid, everyone, Burna Boy, Burna Boy I listened to from when I was really young, to until now. So I listen to a lot of rappers from Nigeria, on a day-to-day basis, really. Yeah.